a young woman at the bus stop who asked me if I was attending a protest. And when I let her know that no, I was attending a peaceful solidarity rally, she let me know, oh, yeah, I saw that on Facebook. I don't think I'm gonna go. I heard it's just gonna be a bunch of speeches, and I've already heard it all before. I have POC in my family. I think it's just gonna be a lot of repetitive stuff, And I don't know if she's here in the crowd now, but if you are, I just wanna let you know that what I'm about to tell you, you have never heard before. I guarantee you, okay? All right, I'm from Texas. I keep it rowdy, okay? All right, well, my name is Megan. I'm a 24-year-old college dropout, but my life still matters. And right now, thank you. You guys are so nice. I am occupying a unique position to voice my thoughts, and I'd like to thank you all for being willing to listen and hopefully learn from and appreciate our perspectives. And I'd also like to thank Terrace, for inviting me to speak on the issues at the forefront of our nation and how it affects me as a young Black woman. Now, my mother always told me that racism is America's original sin, that the systemic injustices that Black Americans have always faced have formed the foundation of this great nation. Now, people might think that's a closed chapter of our painful history, and that the recent social unrest is indicative of racism suddenly getting worse. I'd like to say no. It's always been like that for us. We just keep getting better cameras, that's all. Where I grew up, Texas, Houston, Texas, the racial makeup of the city is around 50% white and 25% Black. In Bellingham, I am the 1.3%. And the majority of you here today are the 85. Now, at least according to the 2010 census, a lot can change in 10 years, and a lot can stay the same. What have we learned as a nation since Ferguson? Since Darren Wilson murdered Michael Brown Jr., where will we go from Ferguson? Where will you go, pardon me? Now, this is ugly. This is America's day of reckoning, and I am not here today. Please understand this, y'all. I am not here today to not bother you. Change is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. It is inconvenient. It is distressing, and it never comes at what you may consider the right time, okay? But it is here now, and I'd like for you to listen. Now, to all of my white folks, and I say this with all of the love in my heart, you do not know what it is like. You will never know what it is like to be systemically kept from enjoying your civil liberties based on the color of your skin. Now, for your gender, sexuality, or the intersect between, perhaps, you can begin to grasp what it must be like. But please understand that you cannot understand. But don't be afraid of that, okay? Please don't let that stop you from speaking up for good and helping us shine a light on the injustices we face as Black Americans. Now, healing must be intentional. It cannot be half-hearted. Please, I beg of you, do not get distracted. We are here today because we know what they did to Mr. Floyd was messed up, okay? We all agree. But it's more than that. These wounds run deeper. If we are to bleed for George, we must also bleed for Breonna, for Sandra, for Tatiana, for Pamela, and to all of the names that I do not know, but whose memories and legacies will be always at the back of my mind. We need to demand justice for them, too. Please don't let this end. Now, I am not going to stand here and break down the political, economical, and social privileges many of you have. That's not y'all's fault. Just like I did not choose to be born into a world that has always hated people like me. That's not my fault either. I cannot help you come to terms with that or walk you through your guilt. All I can ask is that if you are angry like me, if you feel emotional like me, then tell your own self that this shit is enough. Pardon my French. To quote Bianca Eunice, she is a black cartoonist from Chicago, known for her personal and diverse works that explore anti-blackness, beauty, and gender. Quote, "Square up. We have got to unite together to fight institutionalized racism, or else it will continue to divide and conquer. We all have weight to pull. So yeah, call your racist dad," end quote. Please, shut down your friends, your relatives, your neighbors. Your support cannot be performative, white folks, okay? Posting a black square on a Tuesday is not going to cut it. Making a sign and coming out here today and then going home, putting it in the closet and forgetting about it is not going to cut it, okay? Being here today and listening to all that is going on and then going home and continuing on with your life as normal when things open up again next week is not going to cut it. Do not be distracted. Do not be distracted. Do not fall into the lull and familiarity of consumerism when Bellis Fair opens back up in a few days, okay? We as a people, as a nation, failed Ferguson. We allowed media to change the narrative, to present more lighthearted topics, to purge tags that had resources and informations. People get tired of old news. You get bored. You stop talking about it. This isn't one and done. I have been in this all my life long. Don't get burned out after a week and some change, okay? Now, I challenge you, Bellingham, beautiful Bellingham, I challenge you, end your complacency. End your subdued excitement, okay? Examine the racial biases you are still clinging to, okay? And all lives cannot matter until Black lives matter. For those of y'all in the back who didn't quite catch that, all lives cannot matter until Black lives matter. Y'all are so beautiful, I love you. And to those who might say, blue lives matter, pardon me, how does that boot taste? I hope it's vegan leather. You know, a cop, at the end of the day, he can take his badge off. I cannot take this off, okay? Being a cop is an occupation. My blackness is me. I was born into that. I can't strip that off at the end of the day. I can't. Yes, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm from H-Town. Okay. And when I say Black Lives Matter, I mean black men, black women, black gender non-conforming, and black trans women, you know, the forefront of our, you know, LGBT movement. We cannot forget them. And forgive me as if I am not as eloquent as you'd like, or if I am not ticking off all of your activist check boxes, y'all. I'm tired and I want to be done with this. I do not want us to be here again in another 6 years. I don't want another hashtag. I don't want to live my life fearing that I might be the next hashtag, okay? Thank you. You know, amplify the voice of the marginalized. You know, I am not the face of Black America. I am just one of the many voices that are echoing across the nation. But I am standing here today in remembrance of our ancestors, you know, in remembrance of those stronger than me. And they are here with me now, next to me, behind me, pushing me ever forward and onward. And they are asking me, begging me to ask you all to listen. Thank you, Bellingham.